Before we begin today's review, just a heads up that I recently started a second channel on YouTube called Jambareeqi Highlights. This is where I'll be uploading my recorded streams from Twitch. Sort of an archive for every broadcast I do. So please consider subscribing to Jambareeqi Highlights. Thank you. Howdy folks, Jambareeqi here, and welcome to Jambareeqi Orange, the show where I let my patrons decide what I review. The options for this episode included Wolfwalkers, Soul, Bobbleheads the Movie, Tenet, We Can Be Heroes, and Wonder Woman. They chose Soul. Joe Gardner is a music teacher and pianist with dreams of performing jazz gigs every night. He gets lucky when offered the chance to prove himself to a local jazz band. However, he accidentally falls down a sewer hole and ends up in a strange new afterlife. He attempts to escape, but falls into a kindergarten for new souls. There, he meets 22, a very old soul who's been reluctant to start her life, because she's never been inspired to begin one. So, Joe makes a deal with 22. She'll help him get back to his human body in trade for making sure she will stay a soul. 22 introduces Joe to a spiritual expert called Moonwind, a street advertiser who has transcended into this plane through poetic dance. But another mishap befalls Joe, as 22 falls into Joe's unconscious body, and Joe's soul enters a cat. Can Joe and 22 fix the situation? And will they learn something along the way? One of the best things about this movie is its world building. It's a tour de force in storytelling and design. Soul's take on the afterlife is very abstract. It's ethereal, translucent, and looks like it was constructed by forces beyond human understanding. Sure, there's something sinister about parts of this world too, but that's nature in a nutshell. It has a dark side. There's still some comfort to come from the place where souls originate from. A beautiful realm full of soft-spoken counselors and cute newborn spirits. It's such a relaxing feeling to imagine a world where our souls are nurtured in a safe environment by kind godlike figures.
Jerry will take it from here.
Thanks, Jerry. Head right on over there to Jerry.
Thank you, Jerry.
Yeah, there's a human touch to this world, but it's all consistent with the universe that's being established. A heaven that's both a community of love and support, as well as a strict society that follows rules to keep the natural order. While we do get an egocentric antagonist in this world, she's still just trying to do her job at the end of the day. Terry resembles that one annoying co-worker at an office who takes themselves way too seriously. It's a refreshing change from the usual antagonists we see in animated family films.
This week,
What is it?
the count's off.
Excuse me?
There's a soul missing. The count's off.
I also adore the Picasso-esque wireframe design for the counselors. There's some recognizable human features to them, yet they're also metaphysical and vague in concept too. I particularly love seeing Terry using the lines of the human world to slink around Earth unnoticed. It's so damn clever. Although, the main driving force for this movie, like many Pixar films, is the relationship between our two lead contrasting characters of Joe and 22. Joe is a very cultured and serious man with an eagerness to keep things moving, while 22 is a very cynical and immature soul who sees no point to most things. These are very different characters, so expect a lot of conflict between them both. From 22 antagonizing Joe's insecurities, to Joe berating 22 for not taking things more seriously.
How about a librarian? They're cool.
Yes, amazing. Who wouldn't like working at a thankless job you're always in danger of losing due to budget cuts? Though I do like the idea of randomly shushing people.
Obviously, this.
Oh yeah, that's good.
The movie's sense of humor derives from these two bouncing off each other or winding one another up. Heck, the comedy for Soul is brilliant. It's been ages since a film managed to make me laugh this consistently. Solid jokes are rapidly coming at us so fast. Every gag or one-liner is a banger.
I've had thousands of mentors who failed and now hate me. Mother Teresa,
I have compassion for every soul. Except you, I don't like you.
Copernicus,
The world doesn't revolve around you, 22!
Muhammad Ali,
You are the greatest! Pain in the butt!
Marie Antoinette.
Nobody can help you. Nobody.
The middle act in particular has this vaudeville charm to its comedic setup. The whole misplaced bodies dynamic is reminiscent of classic screwball comedies, a style of humor that adds a warm, vintage quality to the film.
Now, push the down button. Move your. No, careful. Those fingers are my livelihood.
Ah! Yeah. Ugh.
Now get in.
At the same time though, as silly as things get, it's these hijinks that help the film get across its most important messages. Seeing as Joe can't talk to anyone as a cat, he's stuck instructing 22 to live his life for him. being most concerned about passing a band audition above anything. But with the quirky and carefree 22 piloting Joe's body, things take a different direction. Not only does 22 get to enjoy the pleasures of life that Joe finds mundane or unimportant, but 22's outspoken nature also shows Joe that he really doesn't know his friends or family as much as he thought. Why? Because he's too busy to stop for just one moment and have a genuine conversation with someone.
I don't know about this crazy cat guy thing, man, but it is nice to finally talk to you about something other than jazz, yo.
Huh. How come we, never talked about your life before?
You never asked, but I'm glad you did this time.
This also leads to Joe finding the courage to open up to his mother through 22, which wonderfully brings the son closer to his mum.
I'm just afraid that if I died today, that my life would have amounted to nothing.
Joey.
However, Joe also has to come to learn the real meaning of life, how appreciating the small things around us can make living a richer experience. But most importantly, he must discover that your purpose in life shouldn't be the only thing that defines you. Heck, it's the adventures and interactions we have in life that can help improve our craft. The people we meet, places we visit, activities we try, and those small beautiful moments that stay with us all inspire how we express ourselves externally. Because, well, art is passion. Joe's mindset of equating a person's purpose with their value of life is very dangerous. This belief not only holds Joe back from respecting himself more, but also affects 22's own sense of self-worth.
Those aren't purposes, you idiot! That's just regular old living. This is a waste of time. You only got that badge because you were in my body. That's why you ruin everything, because you have no purpose.
It's a toxic approach to life that can be difficult to shake off in today's pressuring society, where people feel they have to prove themselves with wealth or success. But it's so important to not measure a person by their skills, talents, or line of career.
I wonder why sitting in this chair makes me want to tell you things, Des.
That's the magic of the chair. That's why I love this job. I get to meet interesting folks like you, make them happy, and make them handsome.
Wow. Am I crazy or do I look younger?
I may not have invented blood transfusions, but I am most definitely saving lives.
Now, this film has garnered a lot of controversy, being yet another mainstream animated movie in which the main ethnic character is transformed into something less human for most of the film. Regardless of the quality of these movies, they've added to a growing trend that's harming racial representation and showing how rare it is for mainstream Hollywood to produce ethnic-leading animated films that don't strip away their main character's racial features for most of the running time. With Soul, Joe spends a lot of the film as an abstract humanoid, and inside the body of the cat for most of the middle act while someone else is in his body. Yes, it all makes sense in terms of the story, total sense even, but it also doesn't help the movie's case when it comes to the accusation it's facing. Pixar's Soul, no matter how good of a movie it is playing a part in a problematic animation industry trend. I think the only way this could have been avoided is if the filmmakers were more conscious of said trend during development. Despite this, credit is deserved to Pixar for gathering an African-American team of consultants, whose personal viewpoints helped inspire the film's portrayal of New York black culture, a big part of Joe's identity and surroundings.
With the scene suit in particular, the original beginning of it, it was an uncle of Joe's, him and his friends were sitting outside, then it switched to the mom and the friends were sitting outside, and then some other people in the culture trust were like, this doesn't feel authentic, I think they'd be more inside, and they're probably more like aunties.
It's very common for us to have close family friends who are not blood related, right, but are called aunt and uncle so-and-so.
Not to mention, Pixar also hired African-American screenwriter Ken Powers to co-write and co-direct Soul, which was a very important decision to make on the studio's part.
I love fleshing out Joe's personal world, like thinking about his journey. I want to recognize his experiences as a black man in modern New York City. And we actually have to know what that life is and really kind of break that out.
It's also so awesome how varied all the designs for these African-American characters are. They all have different shapes, different sizes, different features, different heights. It's not just a bunch of stock caricatures that paint all black people with the same brush. But Soul is also an experience of sound. What we hear can have the same amount of impact as what we see. First we have the voice cast, which is pretty damn good. Jamie Foxx, a charismatic actor with a background in piano, is so perfect as Joe, really nailing his passion for music and neurotic personality.
Hey, look, I'm the new drummer in the Dorothea Williams Quartet, and we're kicking off our tour with the show at the Half Note tonight.
Dorothea Williams, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Congratulations, man. Wow. I would die a happy man if I could perform with Dorothea Williams.
Oh, well, this could be your lucky day.
While Tina Fey is excellent at capturing 22's youthful immaturity and sharp cynicism.
You know how when you humans are really into something and it feels like you're in another place? Feels like you're in the zone, right?
Yeah?
Well, this is the zone. It's the space between the physical and spiritual.
But I also adore how the voice cast is full of so many varied accents. African American, New Zealandese, Brazilian, English, Irish, Cherokee. It's such a wide array of cadences and speech patterns, all making the cast so delightfully diverse to listen to.
I'm always counting. I'm counting right now. You blinked 5 times since I started talking. 6.
Right. Since accounting is your job, why don't you figure out the problem?
I was particularly taken back to hear Graham Norton of all people as Moonwind. You see, over here in the UK, Graham is better known as a radio DJ and talk show host.
So, we all saw the last film. It ended in carnage. So does this film sort of start right then, or do we find you licking your wounds provocatively a few months later?
I was amazed to hear someone so unique to British culture being given a leading role in a Pixar film. He's also really fitting for the role, which makes me want to hear him do more voice acting.
Can you help me get back?
We've never connected an untethered soul back to its body before, but perhaps if we travel to a thin spot, yes, all aboard!
Jazz is portrayed as this magical art form that turns words and feelings into pure improvised music. The movie is both aware of how integral jazz is to African American culture.
Tad, I don't want to go. I don't like jazz.
Black improvisational music. It's one of our great contributions to American culture. At least give it a chance, Joey.
This is where it all started. This is the moment where I fell in love with jazz.
And how jazz can make musicians feel like they're leaving their body when playing. Pianist Jean-Baptiste composes all of the jazz tracks for the film, being someone more than qualified to understand the transcendent beauty of this genre, as well as relate to Joe Gardner as a character.
I remember one time my dad took me to this jazz club, and that's the last place I wanted to be. But then I see this guy, and he's playing these chords with force on it. And then with a minor, I went, whoa, whoa, whoa.
He even had a one-on-one Q&A with the animators to help them understand his craft. But when we enter the afterlife, the music shifts to a more minimalistic and ambient direction, as 9 Inch Nails band members Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross, the last people you'd expect to be attached to Pixar, take over the music of the film. Sound design is a very vital aspect of the film, from generating effects and noises for an ethereal world unlike our own,
Congratulations!
to painting the organic ambience you'd expect to hear in a busy New York, as 22 comes to experience the city for the first time.
Don't worry, it's okay, just keep walking.
Sound is an underrated facet of filmmaking, and Soul uses it in a way that will make casual audiences better appreciate the intricate detail that goes into it. To conclude, Soul is a well-meaning movie that sets out to inspire audiences to love life more and appreciate the little moments we experience, instead of guilting ourselves into attaching a purpose to every single thing we do, all told through a heartwarming story about 2 characters learning to love the gift of existence, despite the obstacles and hardships that are faced. It's a wonderful film that proves that animated family movies can be mature and profound, while also having a sense of humour and a big heart. So what do you think of Pixar Soul? Let me know in the comments section below, and don't forget to click that like button. What am I going to be reviewing in the next episode of Jambareeqi Orange? Well, that's entirely up to my patrons. The options for the next episode include The Swan Princess Free, Batman Begins, 100% Wolf, Flora and Ulysses, Wrong Turn 2003, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. That's a pretty awesome selection, am I right? Now don't forget that you have to be a patron in order to access this poll. What is a patron? Don't worry, I'll explain.
This is my Patreon. It's a site for my fans to support me financially on through a monthly basis. Those who donate are called patrons. Patrons can donate as much as they want and are welcome to stop donating anytime. In return for their generosity, patrons are given exciting rewards based on their pledge amount. These rewards include early access to my videos before they go up publicly on YouTube, behind the scenes content, their name in the end credits of my videos, a chance to request a review of anything at all, and much more.
Pretty excited to find out what my patrons want me to review next on the show. Cheerio, folks.